Yo, what's good everybody? Chester270 here today with a YouTube video for the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm going to be going over your skill lines, your armors, what a DPS, tank, and a healer is, magicka, stamina, health, and just the basics of the game. Thanks guys for watching, and enjoy the video. Hope this helped. So first things first, guys, is the classes. Dragon Knight is the first class I'm going to be going over. These skillful masters at arm use ancient Akaviri material, art, traditional, and battle spirits, and wild fearsome magic that pounds, shatters, and physically alters the world around them. Guys, these are the best tanks in my opinion in the game. And if you're playing stamina, I've seen Dragon Knights live for a ridiculous amount of time, and they do a lot of damage too. They're a pretty good class to play as, and if you're going to play as them, I would recommend using a lot of fire, because a lot of their abilities are based off fire. Next is the Sorcerer. The Sorcerer can use Conjuration and Destructive spells to hurl lightning bolts and create shock fields, while Dark Magic to snare and stun, and summon Daedric combat followers from Oblivion to assist them. Guys, these are the funnest magical players to play as in my opinion, just because they do so much damage if you play them right, and they can also be pretty good stamina classes, which is pretty ironic since, you know, sorcerers are supposed to use magic. Next is a Nightblade. Nightblades are adventurers and opportunists with a gift of getting in and out of trouble, relying on variously in stealth, blades, and speed. Nightblades thrive on conflict, misfortune, trusting their luck and cunning to survive. These guys do a ridiculous amount of damage. If you were one of those people that like playing two-handed dagger and bow and you just like turning invisible and stabbing people in the back, well, Nightblade's the way to go. They annoy the crap out of me because of how overpowered they are. And you can be very low leveled and still do a bunch of damage. So these are great damage characters, but they don't have many healing spells, so watch out, they die pretty fast. Least but not last is the Templar. These traveling knights call upon the power of light and burning sun to deal massive damage to their enemies while restoring health, magic, and stamina to their allies. If you're going to be a healer, Templar is the way to go. Templars are personally my favorite class just because they're pretty fun to play as. And if you're trying to play solo and just play kind of through the game, through the PvE, which is not the people fighting people, Templar is the way to go just because they have a lot of healing spells. You can keep yourself alive. And alright, so you guys need to know your role when you're playing this game. There's 3 different roles that most MMORPG type of games have, and it's damage or DPS, which is damage per second, healers, and tanks. Tanks pretty much just sit there, absorb all the damage. Healers are supposed to heal their whole group, and the damage per second are the guys that are supposed to do all the damage and just kill everyone. Tanks, well, they absorb damage from enemies and prevent allies from being attacked. So if you're a tank, guys, you're going to want to focus on health recovery and health. That is your biggest thing. You're going to want to sit there and just be able to live. You just sit there and take damage all day. You wear heavy armor, and usually I would go with a one-handed weapon and a shield just because the shield gives you extra armor buffs. Tanks are fun to play as. Healers are pretty fun too. If you're going to be a healer, I would recommend being a Templar just because they have a lot of healing spells. Healers heal and protect allies, keeping them alive throughout the battle. That's pretty obvious by the name. Healers do have a big job though, guys. If you're a healer, you're always going to be playing magic, and it's always magicka. You're not going to have any stamina healers. While tanks, you can do a mix of stamina tank or a magicka tank. A damage, aka DPS, focuses on dealing damage against enemies that pose a threat. So DPS is, guys, you just do damage all day. This is the Sorcerers and Nightblades all the way. You guys aren't supposed to live too long, so you usually wear light armor or medium armor depending on how far back you are and depending if you're playing magic or stamina. So you'll notice that every time you level up in the game, you can put 1 point in either magicka, stamina, or health. Guys, I would mainly put all your points into either magicka or stamina if you're trying to do a damage character, because if you mix it, trust me, it doesn't turn out that well unless you really know what you're doing in the game. Also, you're going to want to couple points in the health, always, just so you can keep yourself alive. Alright, so first things first, health. Health is the biggest thing if you're going to play as a tank, obviously. Health pretty much just keeps you alive, make sure you don't die. I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory. So next is Magicka. Magicka is great if you're doing damage and if you're healing. There's a lot of different races and characters or roles you can play as with Magicka that does a lot of damage, and if you're really good with spells, then you can do a crap ton of damage with Magicka. But to be fairly honest, guys, stamina players usually do more damage than Magicka players. If you're a healer, though, Magicka's all the way to go, because you're going to want to keep spamming heals, and you need a lot of magic to keep healing people. Alright, so next is our armor. Heavy armor is for your tank users. It pretty much increases all of your health recovery and health received, and your physical resistance and your spell resistance. One huge thing to note here, guys, when you're in passives, if you look right under where it says the name of your passive ability, it says with one or more piece of heavy armor equipped. That means when you're wearing more, the current bonus is going to equip more and more. And if you see there, it says when 5 or more pieces of heavy armor are equipped. If you're not wearing more than 5 pieces, those bonuses will not work for you. Just to let you guys know. Next off is your medium armor. If you're doing medium armor, it increases your weapon critical, your running, your stamina recovery, and decent amount of, it's pretty much if you're doing damage and you're playing stamina, medium armor is the way to go. It also helps you with sneak and decreases your chance of being detected, and apparently it increases weapon damage too. Good thing to know. So next is light armor. This is for you guys running around using spells and staying in the back, and this pretty much gives you a crazy good spell recovery. So your magic recovery increases, and it reduces the amount of magic it costs to do a lot of spells, and it increases your spell penetration. So light armor is definitely the way to go if you're going to be a mage. So the next thing is pretty cool. This is the race skills. Now this is the main reason to pick your race. Each race has different skills. I'd recommend looking it up online just so you know exactly what their skill bonuses are. I just have a few examples here. Argonians, they swim faster and they have a restoration staff skill line increased by 15%, and they pretty much get maximum magicka increase and maximum health increase, and they increase their healing done and healing received. Another class I had here is the Orc. Orcs increase their heavy armor skill lines and crafting inspired by 10%. You can read there, it helps with health recovery and stamina recovery. They're very good to play as if you're trying to be a tank, definitely. And then there's Dark Elves, who have an increased gain with dual wielding skill line by 15% and increases maximum magicka and stamina by 4%, increases flame resistance and flame damage. This is a really good Dragon Knight to play as, and also they are really good sorcerers to play as too. Just to let you guys know, you can see what an ability costs. If it costs stamina or magicka, it will be green if it costs stamina, it will be blue if it costs magicka. Just a heads up so you know what abilities to use when you're trying to make your class. Next, we're going to be going over what weapons you should be using. If you're going to be a tank, one-handed and shield all the way. Just increases your armor rating, which is great. Restoration staff, that's for you healers. If you guys are trying to run around and use heals, restoration staff is the way to go because it will give you a bunch of bonuses for that. Two-handed weapons for you medium armor users. It's very up-close personal and they do a shit ton of damage. Same with dual wielding weapons, that's also medium armor. Bow's medium armor as well, and destruction staff is magicka. Those are all damage per second weapons. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope the video helped you. Maybe figure out some basics for the Elder Scrolls Online. Please hit that like button and comment if you have any questions. I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all later.